How's it going, everybody?
Great, man.
So, can you guys hear me?
Hey guys,
Doing good, doing good. Hey, Step Fam,
All right, what's up? So,
how's it going?
doing good, and yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Just Tuesday, beautiful day here in Miami. Where's everyone else based?
I'm in Wynwood right now.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah,
you're real close.
we're doing a little impromptu meetup tonight with the WASD, with my guy Caldy in the house. Got a dope little spot, and more than welcome to stop by. It should be a fun little gaming little meetup. Well, what are the odds? We're here for this week, or do you live down here?
I live here. I'm in Brickell.
Oh shit, yeah, I live in Edgewater. Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, DM me
already
after
amazing
this.
space. Already amazing space, and I'm walking away with a Miami friend. Oh my goodness.
Amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hopefully you still like me after the spaces.
Yeah,
All
I'm,
right.
I'm
So where's
um,
everyone else at?
I'm in Indio, so I'm like about 20, 30 minutes away from Palm Springs, California. But what's funny, what's even crazier, like amazing how the space came together because I'm from Florida. I'm born and raised in Florida. I've been there for like 18 years. And then I left when I joined the military. And then, I landed in California and like, you know what? I'm just stay here. So just talking to two Floridian boys right now. I'm like, yo, there's no way we got three Floridians in this bitch right now. So my bad, my language, but this got me already excited. So this gives you a really excited space, like right off the bat. So let's go.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm in LA. That's where Jam City is based. It's the parent company of Champions.
Awesome. I up until a year ago, I lived in Santa Monica for about 8 years. So I make it back to LA pretty often.
Hell yeah.
All you Florida guys have me jealous of the heat. I'm near Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So I do have a timeshare in Florida though, so I get to be a Florida boy for like a week a year. Except that it keeps getting hit by hurricanes, so we won't be going this year, but maybe someday.
There you go. Well, I'm sure during the summers, you guys count your blessings up there because it's hot down here. We actually leave my wife and I during the summer and we go to LA most years. But yeah, it's nice during the winter to be able to go to the beach and enjoy, this time of year. It's wonderful. But August, forget it. You don't want to be here. It's
You
pretty
wouldn't believe it. It's actually hotter in Ontario than Florida in the summertime because of the
really.
humidity coming off Lake Ontario. It gets like not every day, but it gets days that are so hot that you can barely breathe outside because of the humidity from the like yeah because of the humidity off the lake. It's a mixed bag living here. We get snow, we get heat. Right now it's probably around 32 Fahrenheit, but not too bad.
Well, at least Canadians are way nicer than Floridians, so there's that benefit. Here, you probably don't have to deal with as much honking as we do down in Miami.
Toronto's not known for quiet drivers either, but the rest of the country is not too bad.
All right, all right. Well, we'll try to find more redeeming qualities for Canada as we go along. But so great to have all you here. I'm excited. This is going to be a cool topic. It's we're going to be talking about today the role of guilds and organized gaming communities in the gaming space and in the Web3 space specifically. What we have here today are two really awesome, pretty far along gaming projects, and we'll start by doing introductions. I'll give a quick introduction of myself for the people who may be here, and then we'll go one by one, and we can introduce the projects and introduce yourselves. So my name is Nick Frontera. I am the founder and CEO of Apollo Entertainment, one of the founders, and the project lead for Satoshiverse. I've been in the NFT space since 2017, so this is my fifth year in the space. I've had the honor and pleasure of watching the space grow and been on that roller coaster ride since very early. So, these once a week spaces that we do are just always so incredibly encouraging to me to see all the different things that are being done in the space, and to bring on guests. And, even in a bear market, and in times when things don't feel great in the macro, it's nice to zoom in a little bit on the projects that are really doing good work and pushing the limits, and start to see that, all this hard work that we've done for the last 5 years isn't being wasted. It is resulting in something really cool. So the for those of you who don't know, the Satoshi verse was originally a comic oriented IP that was created between myself and Jose Delbo. For those of you who don't know Jose, he's an 88-year-old Argentinian comic artist who worked for DC and Marvel for about 60 years, did every superhero on the planet. And together we created Satoshi the Creator, who was, this blockchain-based superhero. That was about 2.5 years ago now, that the concept emerged. And ever since, we've been expanding that universe, building out the concept of the Satoshi verse into this blockchain-based superhero universe, with kind of our core project right now being the Satoshi's Legions game, which is going to be a third-person action RPG roguelike. So there will be, elements, kind of God of War meets Diablo is kind of the shorthand way of that we've been explaining it. But we're really excited on that. We're nearing our first alpha release. Will be January 10th, and I'll keep it short because I know a lot of people in here are already pretty familiar. But if you don't know about the project and want to learn, definitely check out the Twitter and check out the website. But we'll get deeper into a lot of this stuff as we go through some of the questions we have. So why don't we start with Champions Ascension? Tell us a little bit about yourselves, and I know we got a couple members of the team here, so tell us a little bit about yourselves, what you do, and about Champions Ascension.
Yeah, hi. So Champions Ascension is quite an ambitious project, but we're pretty far along right now, actually. It's basically like an open world MMO with the core game mechanic being a fighting game. It's a real-time PvP arena brawler. And so we have our NFTs, which you can pick up on OpenSea, and they all have different parts, different families, different essences. We have sort of like a rock, paper, scissors system in place where, one essence beats the other essence and that essence beats the other essence. And yeah, you go into the arena, you fight, and it's super fun, super competitive, easy to play, hard to master. And then we also have a world, the MMO aspect that we're building, and that we already have right now, where you can go into the world, you can play mini games with your friends. We got a great community. One of our community members, Blitz, is here. He has led the first community-led tournaments that we've had, and those have been great. And Squiddy over here, he's our community director and is altogether awesome guy. And yeah, we're building this thing that is, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, projects in the space, and has some legendary game devs behind it. Our parent company, Jam City, is one of the top mobile developers in the world. And this is their attempt to, move into the Web3 space. And I feel like it's going really well so far. So yeah, definitely check it out. Champions.io is the website. And yeah, I'll shoot over to Squiddy to say some things.
Yeah, awesome job, Jordan. Yeah, my name is Squiddy, and I'm really intrigued with the topic of this conversation. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say and your thoughts on this and the matter. I think that the role of guilds and organized gaming communities are a vital part of this space, and it's at the core, one of the cores of our strategy right now with our upcoming mint too. I'm having a lot of conversations with other guilds And they're the conversations I have to be enjoying the most too. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's an awesome topic, and I'm proud to be part of it. Excited to.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, we have a free mint coming up for our Elemental Eternals, which is going to be huge. So if by the end of the space anyone is interested in that and wants to know more, definitely DM Squiddy or myself on the Champions account and get you set up. So Blitz, the topic of this is guilds and organized gaming communities, and you're one of the leaders of the Wardens of Messina. And so I want to push it over to you to talk a little bit about that experience and how it's been with champions doing something like that.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, I'm on the leadership team. I'm not the leader of the guild, but I am part of the small group that's leading the team. We've got about 150 members of the guild so far, and we're growing. What we're doing is we're trying to build an inclusive community of people that are basically just wanting to play the game together, get to know each other, and enjoy the game. We're focused right now on 100% Champions Ascension. I know, some of these guilds are built around Web3 gaming in general, but we've kind of built on Champions Ascension and putting our focus in helping grow the Champions Ascension community. And using the resources that we have as 150 people to try to do everything we can to help grow the project that way. And yeah, just trying to make a positive experience on Twitter and the Discord, and just using kind of certain, we call them pillars of character, but certain ways that we want to present ourselves as wardens, and how those pillars can make the game and the community just a better place to be.
Very cool. I love it, and I love that we have kind of community members. We've got different members from the team, so I'm excited to dive into these questions with you guys. Stefan, why don't you tell us a little bit about Guild of Guardians and yourself?
All right. So Guild of Guardian is a RPG mobile game on the Ethereum blockchain. Pretty much it could be published by IMX, and you all know about IMX and the L2 scaling, so it's gonna be on for there. GOG pretty much gonna be interacting. The way they're doing this. One second. Let me switch my taller. But the goal of GOG is to pretty much give people the rights to own their digital ownership with whatever they're doing with their games, right? So GOG, the way they're constructing this is you go into these dungeons with a team of four, and they have these loots, right? The game is not going to supply you any no weapons. The gear and the ecosystem starts from the player and ourselves. So we're going to be just given the game, and then we're going to build the ecosystem that way. So having a guild is a good way to um to balance the ecosystem. So this topic is gonna be real good for me and just for this space as well. And just about myself, I've been in this space since last year, mid February. And then I joined Guild of Guardians about 24 hours after they opened their Discord. It went public, and I stumbled upon it, and I'm like, whoa, there's no way like people are not freaking out about this. This is an RPG mobile game. So I joined their Discord. I pretty much just been adding value, and then I just pretty much worked my way up to the ranks, and now I'm just doing trivia nights. So now I host trivia nights for the community. I do about 20 questions, and we have like a little prize pool for the top five players, and it's a little building that we're doing now, so that when everyone else comes in, we're like, oh, let's go to Guardians. We already have like a set establishment for the community members, because our goal is to give a million players, so onboard the next million players into mobile gaming. So that's our task and our mission right now.
Awesome, awesome. No, that sounds great. I know, Spencer, you were having some technical difficulties, but are you good? Can we
I'm
hear
back. I'm good
everybody?
now.
All right, cool. Then take it away. Introduce yourself, and then get us into these awesome questions.
For sure. Yeah. So my name is Spencer. Work with Apollo Entertainment. Been working with Apollo and the Satoshiverse for about a year and a half now. Also been in the NFT space for since like 2018. So quite a long time. Really excited to talk about this topic with all you guys, and yeah, we'll just get into it. So the first question I'm going to open up to everyone, and I'll have since you're so excited to talk about it, maybe we have Squiddy start this one off, and then people can just jump in whenever they want to, or if there's a lull, then I can call on people as well. But the first question is, what benefits do guilds and organized gaming communities bring to a gaming ecosystem?
Well, games are more fun with friends, with people, and those like pockets of communities. And when it comes to distribution, right, I look at it on the distribution side as we look forward to this mint. I think that it's great to be able to go to different collectives. You're able to feel out the guilds. You're able to see kind of how they're operating and the types of gamers that they have in their community, and you can have that sort of like it's such a much better trust if you're going to allocate X amount of spots to an allow list for a free mint to a guild as opposed to say a like an alpha group, right, where there are just different intentions when it comes to onboarding, right? It's going to be people that are more likely to come in and play dope games.
Yeah, and I think that actually kind of touches on a point that I've been thinking about is the kind of the knowledge gap that's currently there when you look at blockchain games and what we are asking people to do with getting a wallet and learning about minting and understanding what true ownership is. I think you through these guilds and these organized communities, it's great to see their composition, but I think one of the important and great parts of their composition, especially at this early stage, is that they are, NFT positive, that they are blockchain positive, that they are already do have some degree of experience as we go into this, because we can get kind of more meaningful feedback from people who I would I'd still consider very early market participants, because in my mind it's still such an early stage, and I think that you need people who understand not just uh, gaming, but the kind of the state of the Web3 gaming market, and who appreciate the fact that a lot of this stuff is being done for the first time, and who can kind of approach these games with that lens. And so, we certainly look at that. We've done some stuff with YGG and Ready Player DAO, and I think one of the most interesting things that these guilds bring to the table is a community of gamers who are excited about Web3 games, and it's not kind of the typical pushback you get on Reddit where you have to jump a hurdle just to even get their attention in the first place. It's quite a different reaction.
Ready, what was it like working with Ready Player DAO? I know they're on our list. We've been playing some phone tag with them. I know with Miami kind of hectic, but that's one of the ones. There's not that many out there, right? That these specific gaming-led communities. So I'm excited to chat that. I would love to like pick your brain on what that process was like. Was this for a mint? Was this for a what was it? What did it look like? Like, what have your relationships been with guilds, and what are some things that you've been able to like kind of act on based on where you're at in development, which I'm admittedly not too aware of, as I was informed about the space. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good question. So our early, and to not go down a deep rabbit hole, but our early marketing strategy was very focused on organic growth. So we had a way of integrating communities, whether it be artists or projects or guilds, through a program that we called the 100, and we still do it, but the idea was that it is a collaborator program that we bring our partners in through, and then we kind of create co-marketing assets and create special opportunities for their communities, and collaborate with them in the development of the game. So meant to be kind of an ongoing at all stages relationship. So the status of our project right now is we're about a month now away from releasing the first alpha version. So in that, early in these year and a half that we've been developing, it's been a lot of revolving around community partnerships, community, types of things where we're NFT related, avatar related. We've done mints where our collaborators have been involved. We create custom avatars for all the different 100 communities. So YGG's got their own avatar. within our ecosystem. Ready Player DAO does as well. And then we've partnered, with other, big projects like Decentraland and some artists like Hackatow and Trevor Jones. And so the idea was really this idea of getting communities involved that we really like and pulling them in. And because we started out not just as a gaming project, but as more of a comic art focused ecosystem, a lot of the communities we've brought in are art focused. They're, artists who have proven to be very, popular in the space and have great communities behind them. And so our original goal was just to bring people together. And so that's kind of been the core. But I think that, as we now move into this next phase, which is going to be more focused on the game, I think our goal is to continue to do what we've been doing in terms of organic growth, but to really focus that growth on, I think, initially Web3 gamers, people who are already interested in the space, and then ultimately, as the barriers to entry come down and we get further in, the more general market, and have people from all over come in. But I think, with Ready Player DAO specifically, this was one of the relationships, I think that dates back pretty long for me personally. I know a lot of the members of their founding team, and I think they're great. I think they bring a really calculated perspective, both from investing in gaming projects, but also having a group of gamers that are excited about gaming. They're more, West centric, so they have a lot of a really strong U.S. presence, whereas like YGG has more of like a world presence and Asia and the other major gaming marketplaces. So having, I think one of the things we'll talk about today is geographic limitations, but having these people from all different parts of the world, these guilds from all different parts of the world, is definitely important to us.
Yeah, definitely. I know our community is definitely spread all over the world, which is really, really cool. It's great interacting with people from all over, and yeah, it's something new, growing up gaming for myself personally, I have my gamer buds, and we're all based in the U.S. And this is the first time I've really got to interact and play with people from all over the world, and it's just a blast. And yeah, I love how it really is just a global community. Web3 is bringing in global communities, and the importance of guilds. I think on to Apollo's question. Um, you know, guilds started way back in like Middle Ages, and it was for artisans and people to get together and share knowledge and grow in education. Eventually was stamped out because it became a little too restrictive for people. Like people at the top were making the entry process very restrictive. But Web3, on the other hand, guilds are reemerging, but they're not emerging to restrict; they're emerging to empower, and I think that's really important. And like I said, like Web3 is a daunting thing for most people, especially traditional Web2 gamers. And so guilds can offer a way of onboarding to Web3, which is going to be the most important aspect, in my opinion. Because I know I've said this before, it was tough for me to get into Web3 in the beginning, but once I did, it's all I'm in here, baby. I'm here to stay. So yeah, I think guilds are going to be very important for that, for education
This
and
is a guy.
empowering.
This is a guy with a gamer tag. What a dick! So if we can get you, man, like the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Uh, I'll jump in now. Yeah. That's really nice inputs. The way I see this as guilds are going to be like the next form of employment. I mean, as of the way I came in during the pandemic, during like not the shutdown, but like the aftermath, and seeing Doge like pop up, and then learning about Axie Infinity and how they fed the Philippines, had them well nourished, and they did parts. I seen Axie Infinity did a part where the government failed at, and then with these guilds coming up and taking the opportunity to see like, hey, I'm gonna make a guild specifically for homeless people. I'm gonna make a guild specifically for XYZ. So now these guilds gonna be coming up with these beautiful objectives that these government failed to do, and they be playing like a vital role. So seeing these games coming up and these guilds just being pouring money into the space is something that that's gonna be vital. So this is what I've seen. This is like my role, the way my vision, or yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
It's funny. I was watching a show recently called the Peripheral, and it was kind of, I mean, an element of it was this point. If you haven't seen the show, I won't ruin anything, but it's a pretty cool show on Amazon, about VR and these like super advanced VR headsets that kind of put you within uh, a world that, I won't spoil anything, but at least the perception is that within these sims and simulations, you are playing in a very immersive world that people spend a ton of time in. And one of the elements there is that, people are hiring less fortunate, the wealthy people are hiring people to train their characters or make their characters better, and provide that service. And I do think it's interesting from a guild perspective that as the metaverse becomes more gamified and more immersive, there will be, I think, an opportunity for service providers all over the world, and they'll need to be organized and accountable. And so, whether it's guilds or some sort of communities that emerge, I do think that there's going to be a pretty big market for, people who do services on behalf of others within the metaverse, because you're going to have the ability to do those services all over the world, and it could create opportunities in places where people are looking for work or looking to try to, have impacts in that way, where you could have, wealthier individuals paying people who need the resources to do some of these things that they don't want to do themselves, or the grind or whatever. And I don't know that we're necessarily designing our game for that, but I think there will be experiences in games where that ecosystem exists, and I think it could be interesting. I don't know, I don't know if it'll be good or bad. I guess it depends how it's implemented, but I think, if implemented correctly, it could create some really great opportunities for people.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely resonate with that. I mean, last summer I think I had 10 scholars on Axie Infinity who were playing for me in the Philippines, and it was pretty incredible. There had a couple typhoons that hit while this was going on, and these people were able to rebuild their houses, and because they were able to afford it because they were playing Axie Infinity, and it's an opportunity they probably wouldn't have had otherwise. Unfortunately, everything kind of blew up, and all that income everybody was making is no longer there. But hopefully, there's another game that comes out that is more sustainable in the long term, and can sustain people's incomes like this. So moving on to the next question, I'm going to open up the next one also to everyone in the group. And Nick, maybe why don't you start off with this one? How does Web3 create opportunities to encourage communities to organize within a game ecosystem?
So I think Web3, right, is just an ownership tool at its very core function, right? You're attaching metadata to a digital asset, from the NFT standpoint at least, and you can learn a lot about both the asset and the people who own it, through that through that metadata, and through being able to see that stuff on the blockchain. That I think can be used for a lot of things within guilds and within the gaming space. But I think some of the most interesting are using it as an organizational membership tool, right? So plenty of guilds have their, founders pass, or they have their, whatever it is that gives you membership within the guild. And then as the guild progresses, or as this organized gaming community progresses, that becomes more meaningful within your participation. And I think there's all sorts of things you can do with that, right? You can do all sorts of tiered structures. You can see how long people have been parts of the guild. You can see how they're contributing. You could do, token gated events for guild members who contribute more than others. You could do voting based on that. So there's really, a lot, I think, of doors that NFTs and the metadata components and the tracking components, tracking in an anonymous way, gives to developers to kind of enable them to create certain experiences that take advantage of those features. But I also think it's this idea of this kind of distributed economy, right? What we were talking about before. You're creating all this value that can be kind of compartmentalized and fragmented into these NFTs and then distributed amongst people who are really going to bring value back. And I think that if you do it right and you create that player economy, that ecosystem, there should be that circle, right? I think one of the reasons Axie ultimately wasn't sustainable is because there was no value circle, right? There was a game that took off, and 90-something% of the value is probably based on speculation about what it could become, what the coin could become, and so that's kind of a house of cards there. But I think that as we progress into a more stable system, and there is this value creation, I think the question becomes, what does Web3 allow you to do in terms of distributing that value? Who gets what, right? Like empowering the players. I think Jordan was talking about how guilds kind of became a thing of the past, and that's true. But in more modern times, you have unions, right? And I think the idea that people, when organized and have an interest, can achieve things better together than they do. It somewhat redistributes the power, and I think that guilds and other gaming communities kind of force that issue, and it makes projects think about kind of the collectivizing of their audience and it really empowers that audience, and it gives both the guilds and the communities a tool to kind of organize, but also gives the projects better and more meaningful ways of interacting with that organization, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. Power in numbers, power to the people. It's what Web3 is all about.
And we've definitely done things like that as well, where we've had, between the few guilds that exist within the Champions Ascension ecosystem, we set up meetings and have specific talks, because like the leaders of the guilds are obviously not just representing themselves, they're representing all of the people that are within their guild, and they're bringing those issues forward. So it's different than talking to one person who's a holder. It's talking to one person who's representing a large group of holders, and so sometimes that can lend a little bit more weight in those conversations from a player side. So there's definitely value there.
Definitely. What do you think, Steph? How being kind of involved in the Discord, how have you seen Web3 kind of change your experience in terms of like token gating or organization? How is Web3 specifically changing how you think about guilds?
The way I'm seeing this is from a new lens, because about 2 years ago, I would have never thought. I mean, 2 years ago, I was just a stay-at-home dad going to school for landscaping, right? And then I just stumbled upon crypto, and then the Gilded Guardian community, and then I had the privilege of watching, not just watching, but also engaging and helping that community grow from just a couple of hundred to now six figures. But even if they are bots, but just seeing the six-figure number there, just gives me confirmation. Like these right now, they may be just bots, even if they are or not. But right, soon there will just be players. There could be players that a lot of people just want to get to know and experience. And I've met phenomenal people in there, like some brilliant minds. I never thought. We had Fireball. Fireball, he came in and he was just doing right off the bat infographics. He would just take whatever announcement or information that the moderator was giving out or the team gave out and was helping distribute that information out. He would take that and just create infographics with just visuals. And I'm like, yes, thank you so much. And and then the then what happened? He applied. There was an ambassador program. The ambassador program opened up. And I told Fireball. Fireball was like, "Oh, should I join in?" I don't know. If I'm like, he doesn't. He did it. He was doubting himself. And I'm like, "Bro, you literally don't. You don't see the potential. I'm seeing. Not only am I seeing gems in the space, but I'm seeing gems in these people. And these people, they just don't understand. Like they have full talent that they could just make phenomenal work, and literally like they're here for a reason. Like there's not a reason. Like if I found you and I see a gem, you're like, boy, you're like, fam, you can do X, Y, Z. Like you're helping so much. If you really want to do this, like this is what you can do and help contribute to the space. Because not only is the space just built around money, but it's gonna be built around the community and the effort that individual people put into it. Because starting up, we didn't have these steps. We didn't have like these protocols or like these nice tools that we could just give out information, and it makes it easier to onboard. But as more people came in, some people started seeing value. So they're, oh, I'm here really early. This is what I can offer. And then they start doing that for free. And then soon they're being ambassadors, and now it just opens up. So seeing ambassadors and guilds and just seeing collective people come into the space and just putting up an ecosystem or contributing to yeah, it's just phenomenal. So like just being in a space, just talking and just interacting with you, like just I would have never thought like last week. I'm like, oh, I'm just minding my business, and you shot your DM to me. I'm like, whoa, this is really happening. Like, let's go, baby. So like, this is just I'm a part. It's a part of my life now. Like Web3, I'm not going like we said before. Like I've heard before already. Like we're not going nowhere. Like we're here for a reason, and we see the value that this is way bigger than just the pockets and the money and the pumps. And this is something that's just gonna transform the whole world in the future.
How powerful is that, dude? Step fam, when you know, like, I'm gonna be here forever, right? Is that the best feeling in the world, or what?
Yeah, it really is because now you have your family members just looking at you like, well, like, are you crazy? Like, go get a job. My kids, like, they're like, oh, when are you gonna get a real job? I'm like, fam, if you only knew what we're working on and you see what's behind the scenes, like, it's just give it a couple of years to be like, dang, like you were already at work, is what I would say.
But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
we go ahead.
I just wanted to, what you were talking about is, you had the person in Discord that created the infographics based on your announcements and stuff, and you're like, wow, this is amazing, this is really helpful. I wanted to bring up something cool with our project. So we have a community member. His name is Amsrad, and he I so every week we have a community content challenge where I want our community members to make videos, and they can win tickets, which then they get those tickets and mint loot boxes. But he created some really great ones, like he combat tutorial when our combat video first came out. He made another video about the things that you can do in Messina. That's the world that we have, that you play in, all the different mini games and stuff. And it was just so great. And so I approached him. So we have this invite a friend feature going out this week, where if you have a friend that wants to play and you own a Prime Eternal, which are our NFTs, you have codes, you have 2 invites per Eternal that you own, and you can give them out. But a lot of people are like, oh, do I have to download a wallet to play? Do I have to do all this? And so I wanted to make an onboarding video. Like I said, onboarding is really important, about like how to download a wallet, how to download the game, do all this. And so I reached out to Amsrad and I was like, hey, would you collaborate with me on a video to do this so we can get new people in? And he was totally down. And so yeah, there it is right there. And so I just dropped it today, and it's amazing. And it's this community participation, the people that make up the community that really make a project work. And I think it's so nice when you see that come together. It's the best feeling in the world when the community is helping to drive the project forward. So I'll give it back to you, Apollo.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, as much as we are here for the technology and we're excited about what it can do, we wouldn't be here without the community and without all the people behind it, that make it all happen and keep pushing it all forward. So 100%. So Stepfam, I'm actually going to throw this one back to you, and Guild Guardians. So you guys already have some work that you're doing with guilds, and specifically with Yield Guild Games. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what you're doing with YGG and guilds in general.
Specifically wise, I won't have the details for YGG and other guilds. As we do have one hero, already implementing the IP, like the IP rights, which is an NRG hero reborn. He's a legendary hero. He's not a founder, he was an early adopter, is what his tag is. And with this hero, it's supposed to resemble that collaboration of the NRG Guild, right? It's out here in LA, I believe, as well. So we have a partnership with them, and then we also have a partnership with other guilds in top eight and some other guilds, some top eight guilds, and soon. So just seeing how the hero has IP rights of the guild. Soon, as the more guilds join the space, we're gonna start seeing more IP rights of hopefully of these heroes because you already did with one, so now more people are like, hey, if you're partnered up with 1,009 or sorry, 1,000 Thieves or some other ones like Liquid Team. I forgot the other guilds that we partnered up with. We haven't partnered up with 100 Thieves. Or no announcements on that yet, but yeah, but soon just these I just see more heroes having these IP rights and of these guilds that's gonna be partnering up in the future.
Gotcha. And then I think what you're talking about those are more like traditional like Web 2 esports teams, right? That are involved in the game.
Yes, they're gonna be going. They're just Web 2 games, Web 2 guilds or esport team that's gonna be taking interest in guild. That's gonna be soon. It won't be just esports team. It'll just be guilds. It'll be like esport or Web 3 guilds. Where I'm seeing it as so. It's gonna be esports to guilds. Is gonna be like the transitioning that these Web 2 I guess create content content esports team are gonna be transitioning into.
Definitely. Yeah, I for sure. I see esports teams kind of as like the guilds of Web 2 gaming. So yeah, it's definitely a smart strategy that you guys have been approaching those. So the next question I'll throw over to the champions team, and I'll let any of you jump in with this one. So how are you guys thinking about the role of guilds and other organized groups of gamers within your game?
How are we talking like organized? I mean, you guys are basically talking about it, right? We've been laying these foundations. We've been building relationships with people really since the game's been about, right? We've been building an amazing game and just kind of like dotting our T's and crossing our I's and getting people involved, right? So we're having chats with all the major guilds, um, and we're just figuring out ways that we can work together. I always hit use baseball references, right? I'm a sports guy. And I would say, all right, how can we hit singles together, right? So all right, we have a game, you guys have a guild, you guys have a community of gamers. How can we work together where we can both just like bring each other forward into space, right? We are a big believer, as well as even just with other games, right? We're early enough and we're all fighting the same onboard fight, right? Trying to get games to recognize, like, all right, this is the future of gaming. This is the spot that we want to be as lifetime gamers and game players and game makers. So just fostering those relationships. And right now, currently, no, we're focused on this upcoming mint. So the next wave of players, right? Our first mint didn't exactly go a 10 out of 10 back in February. But now, since we're doing this mint for free, it's imperative of us to make sure that we have relationships with these guilds, and we're knowing that we're there. Like, listen, like we're here to grow with you guys, right? We're here to grow together, and we're here to grow together in the space too. We recognize how important it is. If I didn't find myself, I'm a community guy at heart. If you're unfamiliar with my story, so again, lifetime community builder. NFTs allowed me to recognize, all right, this is an actual skill, and I think I can really professionalize it. Sports. I saw NBA Top Shot, and I committed myself to building the community of NBA Top Shot. Even before COVID, I was building communities through Pokemon Go. That's my hardcore mobile game. Because I'm a '90s kid, and I'll always collect Pokemon till the day that I die. And yeah, I really think if I wasn't working, didn't find myself working for just such an awesome game, I would probably be very involved in a guild, right, and having these relationships as I would with a player, right. And so I'm luckily in a position where I can kind of take that mentality and apply that to the side of the publisher, right, because when it comes to like working in the game space, this being so new, kind of coming at it from the player side and building those relationships with like, all right, we plan on this game being around a long time. The game's nothing without the players. You guys have a great group of players. How can we work together if it's a game that you guys like and see if guilds see the potential, which humbly most do. There's an amazing team that's making this game, and we figure out how we're going to work too. So I would expect to hear a lot more stuff when it comes to guilds and champions. And a lot of it too is gaming guilds too. They don't want just like projects to come in, give to their players with the players' expectation that they can 10x overnight, right? Like they want fun games that their players can play, and the best thing about Web3 and their ownership is being able to, like, I always say your time is your most valuable asset. Games are nothing without community members and players spending their time in these games, right? So those players should be able to extract some sort of value from it, right? It's not from 10xing a token to dump on somebody. It's okay. It's being, getting your value worth in the game, in a game that you love. It's all on chain, right in front of you. Don't have to go to Reddit and sell your Madden Ultimate Team cards and risk getting banned, your IP banned by Xbox. So I'm really excited for that, and I'm really excited to see how it plays out. And I'm really excited to see, we've got a couple of the bigger guilds out there, and we're working on programs to properly distribute these allowless spots too. Because while we're trusting enough in their communities that they've built, finding fun ways too to just encourage that, like, all right, as long as the guilds align with our alignment, which is, we got to it's got to be a fun game first. We're going to find fun ways to kind of get the people involved, where we can all prosper in the game economy.
Yeah, that's. I just want to say that's sort of where Axie, I feel like, kind of failed. It was all based on speculation at first, and once the monetary incentive wasn't there to keep playing, people just didn't really play, and the game kind of fell to the wayside. So
the game's got to be a game.
It's got to be a game.
It's
It's
got to
got
be
to
a
be
game
fun.
first. And
Yeah.
there's so many fun games being built right now, but obviously we're not there yet, right? As an industry, as Total Games, when it comes to just like all these amazing games, even though they all look freaking sick, they're still in pre-alpha, right? Most are still in alpha stage, right? So there's the playable stuff, and it's the cool part as players that we get to kind of like really take part in that building process along with that, with that sense of ownership, right? So it's a really cool time, and I really do believe that in a couple of years, we're gonna look back in these times of building and with our heads down very fondly.
The way I see the guild systems going in some of these upcoming Web3 games, everyone's talking about obviously the Axie issue and how maybe it wasn't the most fun game and people were just playing the game to make money. Well, now you obviously want people to play the game, and then if there's some potential income in it, that's an added bonus into the fact that you're enjoying yourself anyways and playing a game. So you've got guilds, and guilds can mean different things to different people. I grew up playing MMOs. I've had guilds in RuneScape. I've had guilds in World of Warcraft, in Lord of the Rings Online, and the Star Wars one. All kinds of different games I've played, and in those games, you're not so worried about the assets, but you're joining a guild because you want to be part of a good community, make some friends, play together, and have some consistency. When you log in, those people are going to be there, and you can play together and do things together. But now they've got guilds.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Now they've got guilds that are more of an investment side. So, like for example, the wardens, we are individual holders, so our assets are not pooled, at least at this time, and I don't see that happening. But so we're individual holders and gamers who want to play the game together as individuals and each control our own assets. So there needs to be a way, in my opinion, that a group of 100 people who are individual holders would have the same ability to compete in a game as one guy who's got the same number of assets, who's hiring out, or who has the ability to, you got a guild and they all pool their assets into a single wallet, or whatever it is that they do. There has to be a way that those two different types of guilds, which are very different, can coexist and work both together and also compete within a game ecosystem.
Yeah, what I was gonna chime in is actually building off that point. You said that you played RuneScape. I played RuneScape a lot too, but the game that I really played growing up was Diablo, and I remember guilds being such a big part of that. And I think part of why guilds were so important was because of those, the learning curve and the time curve it took to really advance in an RPG, right? And so I think guilds were interesting for the same reason that any group would be interesting when you're thinking about things that you like to do or that you want to get more knowledgeable about. I remember, joining guilds and even starting guilds when I was younger because I wanted to, when I was a new player, I wanted to learn from the other players. The other players, especially in Diablo, once they got to a certain point, they were getting all sorts of stuff that they didn't need, but that could be useful to players who were just starting out. So they would, give them for free or they would transfer it. And I think that only becomes more meaningful when you're talking about NFTs and, actually owning those things. Imagine, finishing with your baseball bat and giving a kid who really wants to learn about baseball your old bat, and to them that's their first bat, and they're excited about it. So I feel like that kind of exists with already, and I think if a game is a good game that has kind of that ecosystem within it already, just from a gameplay perspective, people are going to want to organize in order to create those relationships and create those opportunities, even for single player games where those relationships may be just, let me help you with this. Let me help you out because someone helped me out. And, I care about this game, or I enjoy, I just enjoy interacting with people, and I want to, help them out. I think that's going to be a big part of this guild experience as well. But before we move on, real quick, I want to. So every week we do a giveaway during these Twitter Spaces, and this week we're giving away an 8mo Army avatar from our newest collection. So we just drew the winner. So I'm going to announce that the winner is Caldi, Caldie. I might have got that completely wrong, but Caldi.
The giveaway god wins a giveaway. Okay.
The giveaway god wins the giveaway.
That's funny. Is that a recurring thing?
No, so Caldi himself, I'm actually with him right now in person. He's in Miami from Vietnam, celebrating, jumping around, the giveaway god.
That is funny.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He's
No,
the giveaway god because he gives away more stuff than anybody else, not because he wins.
Awesome.
Yeah, because
So
he gives away. He gives away. So that's so funny. Yeah, I'm actually with him too. He was in the other room. He just came out. Shout out to Caldi. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's really funny. It's you be getting a great community member, and I'm sure that if he pops up or something, yeah. Sorry, we love Caldi. Like I'm literally just in person with him right now, so that's that cracked me up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm excited. These avatars, I think they came out super cool. So I'm really good. You guys have pretty awesome avatars as well. I was
Thank
looking
you.
this week, but
And
really love the
Satoshiverse,
quality.
do you mind? So I have to jump off in 4 minutes. Do you mind if we love giveaways too. We've got a mint coming up. Can we do you want to choose a winner for a tier 1 allow list for our upcoming elemental mint? I would love to
Yeah.
contribute that to the cause if
Yes. Yeah.
that's
No.
kosher with you.
That works for us. We have everybody's names logged, so we would have to. I don't want to torture Danny, who's the one who's doing this on the spot, but she said she can run the wheel, so I just wanted to confirm with her first. So she's running the wheel now. We'll announce it before we close the spaces. Just give her a few
Awesome.
minutes to get it organized.
And just whenever the winner is, just have him DM me. Or again,
Perfect.
someone up here or the champions account too. So thanks so much. I have to jump off for this call. Thanks again for having me. Yeah, thanks so much. It's a
Thanks,
pleasure
Squid.
chatting.
Amazing. Actually, we just got the winner. It's Underworld, which, funny enough, is a great member of our community. So,
Awesome.
Underworld,
Let's go.
congrats. DM or Dog. I think Dogma Cats is the.
I see it. I just followed.
Amazing. Awesome.
Awesome.
Very
Thanks
cool.
thanks
I'm
for
glad
supporting. Thanks for supporting the space. This is a great space. Make sure you're following our host, Satoshiverse. Yeah, I gotta give a shout before I dip. So yeah, this is a really great space. Episode 10, you do it weekly, and show up each week. So I appreciate what you're contributing to the gaming space, truly.
appreciate you guys as well. And definitely DM me about Miami. I'd love to meet up.
I have now too. Thank you so much, everyone. See ya.
All right, so just closing up the space. We are running low on time. So I just want to say, for everybody who's still on, I want to give you guys the opportunity in case you want to, say any last words to the space, Champions Ascension or Guild of Guardians. But otherwise, it's been, an absolute pleasure to have all of you on. This is something that we want to keep doing, and I'm hoping that we can bring a lot of everybody back, a lot of our guests back in 6 months or a year to talk about all the progress we've made and how the space has changed since our last call. But it's been a pleasure to get to know you guys for an hour, and really huge thank you to everyone who joined. And I'll turn it over to you guys for any follow words, and then we'll wrap up.
So I just want to jump a little bit onto what our dear friend What a Dick was saying earlier. I guess Jordan is what he was called in this space, but that's not how we know him. he was talking about the Champions Ascension Invite a Friend feature, and this is another thing that guilds can offer. Like the Wardens have 550 Prime Eternals. That means we have 1,100 invites, and we couldn't possibly fill them if we tried. So if there's anybody out here who would like an invitation, send me a message, and I will hook you up with a warden who has an invite code ready for you. You can come in, you can try the game, you can earn tickets, you can use them to loot mint boxes and have a good time. And that's just one other thing that we can do as a community is like for me, I've used up all my invites, but anyone else I bring in, I can give them to some of my friends, and then they can use up their invites, and then we can use that, as a way to grow the community together. So if you're interested, I think that it won't let you DM me unless you follow me. So I'll follow back, and then we'll connect.
Yeah, just want to, yes, what Blitz said. And this invite a friend feature is launching this week, so it's brand new. So definitely hit him up and myself up, Squiddy. We'll get you in there, and yeah, start exploring the world of Messina. It's great. We're in pre-alpha right now, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. So yeah, hope to see you guys there.
Awesome. Steph, if you want to sign off, go ahead and take us there, and then I'll close it out.
All right. Well, thank you first, Satoshi and Spencer, for bringing me on, and it's been an experience. I can't wait to. I know, kind of. I was hoping we could finish the questions, but man, it's been just having this conversation has like relit that fire for this winter because I've been itching for my flame to come back. I'm like, man, I really need to get back into this building because me doing trivia nights for GOG, I thought I was just doing it for like strictly GOG content, but the more I'm working on it, the more I'm being pushed to like do also Web3 content, like Web3 gaming, trivia questions, and also IMX because that's who GOG is gonna be published under. So now I'm making this not just like a trivia for entertainment, but also an educational one. So now my trivia gonna be more advancing. I'm like gonna be teaching people and teaching more the onsteps, not onstep, but like it was almost like my way of onboarding people was through trivia and like getting more into like the space and whatnot. Because for a while it's been down. Like this year was kind of rough, I would say, for some of us. Like then it's been like nothing but drama back to back to back. So now that we're having like this conversation, it's almost like my way to like, okay, hey, you're having this conversation, you hear yourself talking, let's get back to work again. So thank you again for having me in this conversation. The GOG community is like one of the best I can have. I have one of the best. I would say I have one of the best moderators. I believe that from like the bottom of my heart because these guys just put in work. I have some of the best ambassadors as well. Like I say that out there like whatever. But I just see other games as well, like Champion IO, like just learning about your games as well. Seeing you and his, I know Kagi and Juice Team. He talked about your game and also gave us a little glimpse of your game too. So just looking at it, just knowing that like all these games are popping up, just knowing that we're all on the right track and we're all just building the space. So thank you so much again for this conversation. It's been an honor for all. So thank you.
Hell yeah,
Amazing, man.
man.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, hell yeah, it's been a great conversation. Thank you for having us too. This was an awesome space.
Definitely, guys. So cool to have you. And like I said, this conversation hopefully will only continue. Please keep us in the loop. I know we always try to expose our community to great projects that are doing good things. So, if with whether it's mints or new features or whatnot, let us know how we could all work together and keep building the space. With that, we will sign out. Thanks, everybody, and see you next week.